All right. Figure out why the heck Sneako guy was canceled.
Before I get started, I wanted to shout out my Instagram at @therealmtr. I shout it out because notification of this particular content that we're about to go over right here came directly from there. So guys, continue to follow your boy and to send me clips all around the internet you guys want me to talk about and or commentate over. All right? Now, the topic at hand, Sneako, popular YouTube content creator. I think he's on a host of other platforms as well. Not exactly sure. Was recently ousted from YouTube. All right? There it is right there. You can see it right there. He's recently ousted from YouTube, and I wanted to have a conversation about it because I got hit up because I do content in a similar space as Sneako. It is not the same.
Dang, they nuked him. Or they nuked him because he went to Voldemort's page. You know who? He who shall not be named. Apparently, you can't talk about that guy no more. I'm kidding. But everybody knows. Everybody knows Andrew.
Same type of content, and I wanted to get into a little bit of the differences between the two, but then also give you guys exactly why he was kicked off of the platform. And there's a multitude of reasons, but there's one.
Yes, but I don't want all of them. I just want the best one. So don't give me like a billion.
One specifically that has to be gone over. Now, I reacted to a Sneako video in the past. Had to be about 6 or 7 months ago. It's up on the channel. Feel free to go look at it if you want to see my particular commentary in that video. But I will say, before we get started, I've not had a conversation with Sneako. I am loosely familiar with his content. Let me just keep it right there for right now. Now, when I was sent his profile, which had the evidence that he was kicked off of the platform, I took a look at said evidence, and it's 2 different posts. He has 2 different channels, one of which he's had for like, I believe since he was a little kid. I want to say over 10 plus years. And the other one's a little bit newer, which was a live stream channel. But you'll see, I'll click on one of them right here. Hi, Sneako. We have reviewed your content and found it has repeated violations of community guidelines. Because of this, we remove your channel from YouTube. Now, I'll tell you guys, from my perspective, this email right here is the email of nightmares. This sometimes I wake up in the morning sometimes, and I will see like a copyright notice and go click into it. It's just like a copyright claim, which doesn't mean that my channel is going to get deleted. It just means that there was some copyright issues that had to get taken down, or I have to dispute it, something. But every time that I look at those emails, my heart jumps completely out of my chest. So that's the first thing, right? So what happened to Sneako is,
okay, last chance. Enter Honey's giveaway now, and you could win this, or this. Just add.
Well, let that play out. Yeah, I've never gotten a strike like that. You know, usually I get like something like I can't be monetized for my videos, but I haven't had to worry about anything like that. But you know, I haven't done content like this before either, so we'll see what happens. Can't be out there, you know, breaking community guidelines. That's just point blank period. That's 0. That's step 0. You gotta start there. I don't think anybody's in here. I'm gonna go ham on this. I was wrong. We got people in here. Not you slipping. I'm gonna take it.
YouTube is a safe space, something. But every time that I look at those emails, my heart jumps completely out of my chest. So that's the first thing, right? So what happened to Sneako is the thing that every content creator fears. We know that this is very upsetting news, but it's our job to make sure that YouTube is a safe space for all. If we think a channel severely violates our policies, we take it down to protect other users on the platform. But if you believe that we made the wrong call, you can appeal, yada, yada, yada. I can tell you guys this right now, him trying to appeal ain't gonna do but nothing but a damn thing. Once YouTube decides to do this, especially what it seems to be is creators that are down into the space that are male focused, when they take it out, you're gone, you're gone. But anyway, I got to thinking, what did he do that was so bad that got him kicked off of the platform, right? So I scrolled out a little bit on his page. Right down here, I clicked on this picture. And it said Gary Peters. I'm just like, why is he putting up what looks like a corporate or a presidential photo up on his Instagram that just seems like it's out of form and out of shape, all right? So I clicked on it, and it says official portrait 2018, United States Senator from Michigan. I don't know if you can see that. Boom, it's right there. So I looked over to the right, and it says, U.S. Senator and Chair of Homeland Security wants to ban me for dangerous rhetoric. They don't realize how they've proven me right. Freedom of speech is dead. Information is the greatest threat to authority. The tide has turned, and Sneako values the Constitution more than government. To everyone reading this, if I disappear, you know who did it. God is watching me, and we will keep fighting the good fight. Now, I will say after this, I'm like,
Sneako, all you did was
what? What the hell is going on here? If he's talking about if I disappear, what the hell is Sneako been saying that apparently...
What is going on? Now he's 00 agent Sneako. I just thought I was going to be watching something about, you know, somebody getting their YouTube canceled. Now we're involved with the government. Yo, this YouTube stuff is like... It's serious, y'all. Like, you can't mess around on YouTube, so apparently it's that real.
I have no idea about that. He thinks it's as serious that not only is he concerned about disappearing, but then also he's got this picture of this, you know, Michigan State senator that is trying to get him canceled. So anyway, this search right here took me to this video. Let's bring this up.
I want to show you something. They played my stream in the Senate. They played my stream in the Senate. They're watching this stream right now. There's government officials watching this. Let me show you. I'm not crazy. They played it in the fucking Senate. The limit. Spread of the hateful, dangerous, and extremist content that has motivated. He said hateful, dangerous, and extremist content that is motivated.
Tough.
By real world violence.
Now, at this point in the clip, I'm saying to myself, okay, this looks like, the background looks like he's in some type of Senate judicial judge. That's some real wood back there. Okay, pause. Okay, that's some real mahogany back there. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm saying this, and I'm just like, no, they're not about to pull up a video of Sneako doing something off the chain and off the wall in the Senate, are they?
I should
Pay attention.
It's just Nick Fuentes saying something. There's Destiny reacting to my panel. That's
Yeah,
Nick,
we're different.
Neon, Abba, and me. He said something about the Jewish religion. He said something about Judaism, and I went, huh?
Okay, I'm stopping it right there. So what he said is that this person said something about Judaism, and then Sneako begins to chant like a Jewish chant in mocking Jewish people and Judaism. And I said to myself, Sneako, what are you doing? You going overboard, my G. No wonder you got kicked off of the platform.
Wow.
You gotta chill, bro. You gotta relax. This is too much right here. Guys, let me tell you something.
Yeah, for real.
One thing that I've always
Not the government, man.
laid mention to when I talk about the way that I've been able to develop the channel and make sure that I've not had community guidelines and
I'm about to cash this check for $50,000 for an accident I was involved in over 5 months ago. The same accident.
Interesting. Yeah, it seems like he's just kind of like, you know, trying to use the whole government thing as like a scapegoat. Like he's trying to be silenced, and like, yeah, they use his you know, they used his video, but it's kind of, it's a little too much. You know, you put a little too much sauce on it, man. You put a lot. Oh, you put way too much sauce on it. Let's just put it like that. You oversauce the situation. And you were feeling yourself, and you know those are the consequences. Let's see what we got here. Get some of this stuff out. I got myself some good stuff. Let the ads play out, because you know I'm watching people's videos here, you know, and that's honestly, I want to make sure that they get their up and comings, or whatever it is you call it. Make sure they get their dividends. Hello. Probably sell all those. Doom doom. Let's see. You got these. Almost done there. Almost done there. No. These are things to build anyway. Oh. Probably should take these with me now that I have a shotty for the body. Almost? We done here? Are we done here? Oh, one more. Let them have the one more. The weapon, good weapon, but you know. Slots on that ship. Let's bring it back a little bit.
You gotta relax.
You do.
This
you
is
gotta
too
relax.
much right here. Guys, let me tell you something. One thing that I've always laid mention to when I talk about the way that I've been able to develop the channel and make sure that I've not had community guidelines infractions is that every single video that I do, although I will admit I will toe the line, I try to come in as professionally as I possibly can, because words matter, and I understand that. So I go through great lengths to curtail my words or use euphemisms in order to still communicate while adhering to YouTube policies. Now, there's a load of people that's on the channel that think that my content is soft, right? And I'm just like, me and my personal life talking about this same ish is a lot different than me on YouTube talking about this same ish. But in order to continue forward as a business entity, I have to deal within the confines of the YouTube policy. And I know that the policies around bullying, around harassment, people that are considered minorities or subjugated against is a huge no-no on the platform. And not only did he do that on his platform, but then that snippet got taken out and put up to a Senate hearing. It is my humble YouTube opinion that his video getting brought up to the Senate room floor is exactly what led to his channel getting popped. So I end up finding the exact stream. Let me get this on the stream real quick so you guys can see this. I end up finding the exact stream that this came to. And you'll see it right here. Watch live. Senate committee hearing on social media's impact on Homeland Security. And guys, I scrubbed through this video a little bit. It's 7.5 hours. 7.5 hours that they met and they talked about this. Not only did they get members of Congress to come up and talk about the importance of regulating speech on these social media streets, but they also got some of the chiefs and the heads of these social media platforms. As I scrub a little bit further, this guy...
You're the guy with the gun, the person who would do anything to protect the ones you love.
Yeah.
But did you know you could go to jail for simply doing the right thing to keep your family safe?
Yeah, probably.
Don't end up behind bars because you didn't know what would happen after a self-defense incident.
Guy right here is the head of product at YouTube. I believe that the person right after this lady right here is the head of product at TikTok. I'll leave a link to this video down in the description box down below if you guys want to go through and listen to it. I didn't listen to a whole bunch of it, but I listened to it enough in order to come up with this conclusion. This video was streamed live on September 4th, 2022. You know what else has been happening since this was streamed? The views on my content, the views on my channel have decreased dramatically, around 30 to 40%. So, which leads me to conclude that there is currently a crackdown in this entire sphere of men's content. Everybody should be on watch. Everybody should be on notice. Everyone should be very, very aware because it has reached the goddamn Senate. So where does this leave everything right now? You know, RIP to Sneako's channel. You know, you never want to see someone lose a form of income because they are stretching what they think of as their free speech, and you know whether or not it is permissible on the platform is decided by that particular platform. So I'm sure that he's gonna go on another platform to continue to spread his information or his knowledge. What I think needs to be understood is that for some damn reason, there is an uneven priority shifting of what gets policed on social media and what does not. For example, I have a Lizzo video that I've been trying to upload, but I currently can't because it's demonetized because she's on stage wearing a swimsuit. Meanwhile, her videos are not demonetized on her channel of her wearing a swimsuit. So is it fair? Hell no. But this is the playground that we play in. It's going to take content creators to professionally call out the bullshit, never hit below the belt, never go to name calling, and to generate and garner an audience that is filled with truths as opposed to be sunken with conspiracy theory. Until next time, YouTube.
Yeah.
Peace!
Yeah, I don't think that's why he got canceled. See what happened here. You're just wrong.
In a way, Andrew Tate might be marketing red pill stuff that I think is kind of okay, but people like Sneako are the result of reading it the wrong way. Okay, when people say Miami is the best city in America, is that like a huge, I don't want to say self-report, it's not like bad, but is the person basically just saying I really like going to clubs? Is that really all they're saying? Because I don't know why the fuck else you would think that Miami is the best city in America. Other than you like clubs and the beach. And maybe bimbo pussy, I guess.
Maybe.
To me, it feels godless.
It is. That's why I love
it. It just feels godless.
Dang, man. Dude got canceled. Not sure what's going on with it. Let's find something else. There we go.
If you shop on Amazon, you should use Capital One Shopping. It's a browser
And we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to an emergency meeting live from Romania. We're here with the top G and the whole squad. Let's get into it, baby.
All right. Yeah, no. That's just, this is going to be tough. We're going to watch this, but, All right. I'm physically uncomfortable right now.
All right, welcome.
Yeah, we have to make sure we're live everywhere because you've done some technical wizardry. Myron's done some magical things here, so we have to make sure we're live everywhere.
I'm trying.
We're live on.
So we're live on YouTube right now. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch. We're live on Twitter, and we just want to make sure that we're live on Rumble, guys. We're live on Rumble too. We're fucking lit, man. Yeah, hey, that's what it's about. We made it happen somehow.
Shit, we did it, guys. We all work hard on this.
Yeah, sorry guys for being late. Since we added Sneako to the panel, I had to go ahead and switch up the whole audio situation. So sorry for the delay. It's on me.
Yeah, me and Sneako did all the work.
Myron's lazy as hell.
Yeah, I don't know what you laughing, bro.
This is funny.
Welcome back, Andrew.
Yeah, man. Thank you. It's good to be back, and I look forward to the chat asking us some questions. We've got a big panel here. I've got some questions to ask you all. I thought, if I'm going to have my good friends here on the show, and let me ask them some difficult questions. You have to answer. You can't not answer. You have to tell the truth.
What's the caveat if you don't answer? What's the
something kind of, but that's a bit high school, drinking game, or just answer fucking.
Okay.
Are you trying to say that we don't act mature?
I don't know about you, bro, but me and always real focused.
If you've ever lied on camera, to me.
Even when I enjoy my life, it's work. I know you saw me on the yacht with the girls, etc., but that was work. I was very focused on task. I had stuff to do.
I will say the work never ends here.
The work never ends. Do you admit that the work never ends?
No, that's true. The work never ends.
From the second we're awake to the second we're asleep, the work never ends. That's
And the girls.
It's absolutely.
You hear it from me.
Absolutely.
Does Andrew Tate know I just saw that there. Does Andrew Tate know he's on a Netflix series called Eat the Rich? No, I don't.
What the?
There's a Netflix series called Eat the Rich, which is about the GameStop thing, and I went viral on Twitter at the time because I threw 100,000. I think I threw 100,000, then I got drunk. It was in Vegas, and I threw like 300,000 more at GameStop. I was just kept I kept tweeting saying fuck the hedge funds and just losing all my money. I never sold any of it. I just lost all that money trying to bury hedge funds. And now they made a Netflix about me. That's good. So I'm gonna find out.
That's how you know you made it.
That's how you know you made
it. A Netflix special.
Not banned from Netflix? Out of every site, banned from Uber, but not Netflix? On another note, I watched Andrew lost $10,000.
You made it to the Netflix special. That's how you know.
It was the World Cup final.
You want to tell us that story?
Home. He knew it wasn't coming home. He lost 10 G's just for no reason.
Yeah.
Because we had fun. We're degenerate.
We're degenerate. We were drinking. We were running around. And this is before I was as famous as I am now. I couldn't even walk the streets like then. Like I was back then. But yeah, I bet $10,000 for England to win. And of course, they lost in penalties like they always fucking do. So it's never coming home. England is never coming home. I'm sorry. It's actually a shame when you talk about England because now the Queen's died. I feel like all the good things about England have died with her.
Oh shit.
Not to be like pessimistic and sad on this stream, but all the beautiful things about England and all the things about the world.
You really sad about the Queen dying?
100%, bro.
You don't think the kids and like fucking each other's cousins?
Oh my God, bro.
You don't think the Queen was an OG?
I guess.
I will say this: London was a great time.
No,
I never want to live there, bro.
You know what? Maybe I'm naive. I know what
Maybe
Sneako's
you
saying,
are.
but maybe I'm naive.
Probably.
But I think that a lot of the true degeneracy that you see in the world is semi-modern.
Really?
And I don't think that Queen Elizabeth, who was alive and driving trucks during World War II, bro.
Damn.
During World War II, she was driving trucks. She was in the army in World War II, and she's been through all this shit since the 30s. I don't think she didn't love her country, and I don't think that
Driving trucks. Right. That's what she was doing. She was just driving trucks. That was the only thing she was doing. Just driving trucks. Like, what type of fucking... What are you talking about? Like, okay, so, like, all the things that I've done in my life. Like, I've driven a truck. You think they're going to talk about me driving trucks? No. Unless I was a truck fucking driver. Anyways.
the world and the whole Commonwealth, because England was in charge of the Commonwealth, the whole Commonwealth.
By the way, just because you drive a truck doesn't make you a truck driver. Like, literally, she was the queen. Trucks.
Commonwealth wasn't unified behind her. And I think that the royal family's lost its prestige now she's died. Nobody gives a fuck about Charles. It's over now. And the world we live in now, a lot of the problems with the world is because we're losing our traditions and we're losing our older ways of thinking. And I'm not saying that the elites, you know what I think about the elites, you know what I think. And I know you can lump the royal family in there with them, I get it. But having a monarch for 70 or 80 years who was there during the war, and she's been there the whole time, and she was in charge of not just England, the entire Commonwealth, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, African countries, all this shit, India.
The elites.
She's a G. You can't say she's not a G. Queen
an
Elizabeth II, she's a G.
OG.
You can't say she's a G.
Definitely old.
She's an OG.
She's an OG, and now she's gone, and they're replacing her.
Yeah, like 2 out of 3 people here have been canceled on YouTube. I guess you have to be like just like a deplorable person to be a G. Pretty much. Be an all around just a shit person, and then you can be a G.
With this new guy, and I think a lot of the problems with the world today are all because of all the new think and the new things they're trying to replace things with. All the old traditional ways. We sit here and we all talk about masculinity. That's an old idea, and they're replacing it with a new idea. And what's the new idea? Trash. So when they get rid of the longest reigning monarch, and they said they're going to replace it with fucking some new dude, to me that's bad news. That's my personal view, anyway. Right.
She probably ate some kids though.
Well, I don't know.
She ate one baby.
Andrew, you think so?
If it happened, we wouldn't have no idea.
Diana, did she do it?
Ooh.
Well,
should I be asking this question?
You can ask. I mean,
do you think she did it?
Did Queen Elizabeth?
She is a G.
She is a G. Sometimes as a G, you got to get the talons out. I don't know. I don't know if she did it. All I know is that I think that and not think. Let me correct my speech.
Just to listen to them boil the nuance of these people's lives down to like literally nothing, just for the hot takes. It's like, wow, man. And you wonder why you get canceled.
I know that England at one point was the largest and most fearsome empire on the planet. I actually think that it was the best empire in the world, not just because it was the largest, because I think it was genuinely the best to live under. In modern worlds, everyone, when she died, all the liberals were celebrating, saying she's a colonist, etc., etc. If you lived under the British Empire, you had a semi-good life. They turned up and they built roads and schools and monuments and built a railroad, and everyone's complaining about the British Empire. If you lived under the Japanese Empire, it was worse.
Just the worst take ever. It's just wow.
Worse, because they just chopped your head off for being a fucking peasant. They didn't build shit. Hey, fuck you. Give me that. Oh, and pull out the katana. So at least the British built shit. So the British did good for the entire world as a whole. The world back then was different. I'm not saying colonization is a good thing. I'm saying that back then it was just empires. You were a part of an empire, one of them. That's how it worked. And she was the head of the Commonwealth for a very long time, and I was genuinely upset when the Queen died. Maybe it's the patriot in me, but I thought the Queen was a G.
Don't you think the natives deserve to celebrate her death?
Why would they?
The Native Americans, anybody who's suffered from colonization?
Well, this is a really interesting question, because you talk about suffering from colonization. If you look at a lot of the... Do you think India... Let me ask you the question then. Do you think India suffered... Do you think India is in a worse place now than it would have been if it was never colonized by the British? Now, I'm not saying the British didn't kill people. I'm not saying they were completely fair, but also the world was a different place back then. Nowhere was fair. If the British didn't turn up to India in the 1800s, then the Indians would be killing the Indians. People just killed each other. That's how it worked, right? Do you think India would be in a better place today if it was never colonized by the British?
I mean, they're pooping in the streets right now.
What would they be doing if they didn't? The British didn't turn up. I mean, if you look at some of the biggest, best buildings in most of these countries, or some of the most critical infrastructure, it's the shit the British built 200 years ago. To this day.
Just their takes on everything is just so like... so basic. They just boil everything down to the most basic level that they can think of, and then they just take a swing at it in the most offensive way possible. It's all shock. It's all shock value. It's all for the hot takes. They're all firing off as many... trying to figure out as many hot takes as they can fire off, and each of them are competing to outdo the other in hot takes.
And they had their liberation for a very long time, and they haven't managed to surpass the infrastructure the British built. You want to talk about why that is? I mean, I'm sure there's reasons, but my point is, the British turned up to a country. They ruled India with less than fucking 60,000 men. The Indians could have kicked their ass any time. But they turned up and they gave genuine value to the point people thought, okay, these white people turned up in this boat. They know No shit. Oh, whoa, railroad. Whoa, okay. Whoa, schools. Like, you know, they didn't do it purely by force. India's a big place. They did it with a very small contingent, and they did it by adding value. And yeah, the British were not people you want to fuck with, but they definitely added value to the colonies. And I know this is gonna upset the whole fucking world. I'm a colonist. This is a pretty diverse panel. I don't know where I come in on the brown scale, but it's a pretty. It's a pretty. Where I come in. Yeah. It's a pretty diverse panel. But the world was a dangerous place back then, and I think being under the British Empire afforded these countries a lot of security and safety and technological advancements, and I don't think it was all bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Barbados, so like we were colonized as well. But, you know, we got our independence as well. But Andrew, as a young man in navigating the Matrix, where do you think somebody should live nowadays? Like, place to live? What's the best location you think possible for a guy to live in these times?
That's a good question. It's a hard one for me to answer. I think that should be the first question to the panel. So let's go through one by one. Let's change the question slightly. When you're deciding where you want to live on the planet, what are you looking for?
Depends on how much money you have. If you're American, Miami's the move. Puerto Rico. But if you have more money, if you have top G money, then Croatia, I think sounds good. Albania, Romania, obviously. But
absolutely don't go to Puerto Rico. This is the problem with the G's. All of the G's are always down for fucking colonization.
Most people can't answer that question.
But why?
Everything you say about Eastern Europe, about the traditional values, about the lack of feminist indoctrination, about the weather is nice, things are cheap, people are nice.
Girls are skinny.
Girls are skinny. We saw one, but there has not been one fat under 40 woman this whole time.
That's been the challenge of the whole week.
To try to find one?
I challenged Myron and Sneako at the beginning of the week to find a girl under 40.
Welcome to Max Star.
We're skipping right through their commercials. I don't care.
Yeah, it's not a societal norm here. It's not accepted in the same way. So
I mean,
societal
we're watching
norms
it
have
anyway,
a
but
large part to play on how we act as a whole. Which you can extrapolate to everything, right? The societal norm in Eastern Europe is to not be fat and is to not be a hoe, for example. Whereas in the West, they don't have those societal norms and people act in a certain way. Maybe I'm getting old and boring, but I like to
very
live.
old, very boring.
When I was last in Miami, which is the best city in America, hands down. Nice. Best city in America,
Miami!
It can't like anyone who talks about New York, that they're right. And Miami is the best. But to me, sorry, Sneako. To me, it feels godless.
It is. That's why I love
it. It just feels godless. When I'm in Miami, I'm just like, not New York, Miami. I'm like, this is fun.
It's not the best city. It's really not. I mean, it's a big city, not the best city.
I'm just like, where's God? He forgot about Miami. I don't know. It just feels godless. Like, and maybe I'm getting old and boring, but I like to just see the traditional business run by the family and the hotel run by the family and the women going to church on a Sunday, and that's what I like about Eastern Europe. Maybe I'm getting old.
So I'll say this. It depends on what you want. Personally speaking, if you want girls, you got a little bit of paper, go to Colombia. Not much to do there, but the girls, the scenery, food is cheap. And then if you want to have fun, you have money, Miami for sure.
All right, so let's carry on with the question. So, yeah, fresh. Let's say money's no object. Let's say we all have hundreds of millions of dollars, whatever. You could live anywhere on the planet. Where would you live and why?
Money is not object. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'll leave Colombia. Give me 1,000.
Colombia? Why?
First off, the girls are beautiful. They're at least somewhat feminine. The money goes very far. So, for example, like you could be a G with only like 50K, 100K a year.
You could pick anywhere you want to live in the world, and the first thing you think of, well, there's girls there.
And honestly speaking, like it's skill because, for example, people that go there have businesses, other Americans. So it's kind of like you have your own community guys that are successful and hot girls. I mean, you can't really lose. So
Myron wants to go to Dubai, right?
I'll go last. I'm producing over here.
Justin, what about you, bro? Where you living?
Man, we were just talking about this. To me, man, it matters who's there. So you can go anywhere in the world you want. The best place for you boys ain't there, bro. It's Trump. Colombia, I've been. I like it. I think you need a plug there, like you need a plug in anywhere else.
George Gammon.
You need a plug. No, you need a plug that's local because Colombia can be very dangerous also. So I would have to say Europe in some regard, probably Eastern Europe somewhere. Based off of my experience, I like Dubai, but it kind of feels like an island. I would not go to. Where is it everybody?
DR, Dominican Republic.
Yeah, but then you get island people, man. So So I would say Eastern Europe somewhere, if you're not going to live in the States and you're not going to live in Miami. That would be my bet. But without your boys, it's shit anyway. I'd rather live in Indiana with my boys than live in the best country on earth with nobody. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think people pretty much know my answer. But yeah, Justin's right. It's a lot about the people you're with. It's about what stage you are in your life. But certainly the people you're with are going to influence your reality. I've been to a lot of places. I've been all around the world. The number one thing people say to me is, Tate, you have so much money. Why don't you travel? The first thing is I do travel always. The second thing is that the world's the same, man. You either go out to a restaurant or you stay in. You fuck a bitch, you watch TV. The world's the same pretty much everywhere. So you got things like weather, you got things like the general safety of a place. But then you got to go for the intangibles. I like driving past churches. That's why I live in I like driving past churches. Sounds stupid. But there's nothing that America has that remains the same. I can buy a Lambo here, there's a Lamborghini here. There's fucking clubs, there's bottles, there's Dom P, there's bitches, there's restaurants. Like, what does Miami have that Bucharest does not have? Not much. Nothing. It's all the same. It's all here, and this is a poor country. It's all here. It's a puzzle straight.
So-called, bro. Clubs are lit here, inside here, and the cars, bro. This Lamborghini is like driving up and down Porsches. Everything is like, it's lit, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot
out of here again.
It's very first world.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm in a poor country being here at all. I'll tell you guys that. Like coming from Miami, where it's like super bougie, like yeah.
But you guys spent the whole time at the mall, going to all the first world places.
Oh,
You didn't even
took over
go
the
into
mall.
actual Bucharest. You've been to the mall 8 times in 4
Well,
days.
to be fair, I've been on dates. I've been
Dates at the mall, very adolescent. Take her to a nice restaurant. Take her to go scenery seeing.
I know you know.
A church.
We took those girls. Oh wait, they're waiting in the lobby.
Better than the mall.
No. Okay, go on.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna live in the United States, I think if you live in Florida or Texas, those are fantastic places to start. Because anywhere where,
I mean, you guys are grown, and you're still talking about hanging out with girls at the mall, and you wonder why you can't find Mrs. Right, because you're still hanging out at places like the mall to find. Never mind. You know, it really doesn't baffle my mind at all how they don't get it. Like, you're looking for someone who will be interesting. Like, go to a library, man. Go read a book. Like, stop podcasting everything you think constantly, and do some research, some actual honest to God research, and maybe, just maybe, go actually improve yourself. Maybe, just maybe, and for 2 seconds, think about somebody else, and you might maybe find somebody that's compatible with you.
it's not expensive to live and you're not getting taxed to death, you'll be okay. If you're going to pick major cities in these states, I would say, Miami is fantastic. Fort Lauderdale is good. Tampa's good. I don't like Orlando. And if you're going to be in Texas, Dallas and Houston are good. Just a little bit dangerous. South Texas is surprisingly nice too. Like McAllen, people talk shit about the southwest border, but there's some nice areas there. Phoenix is also good, and Arizona. The only thing that sucks is there is a state income tax. But if you're going to go abroad, I mean, Romania is nice. I can see why the Tates live here. You get a lot of it feels like a first world country, even though it might not necessarily be one GDP wise. And then what else? But for me, I'm going to probably go to an Arab country when this is all said and done to find my virgin wife.
Find the virgin wife. Yeah,
Find the virgin wife, man. So yeah.
Right. So, go on. What are you gonna say?
Next question.
Our next question. So he just said when this is all said and done. So that's gonna lead into one of the questions I'm gonna ask. So that's perfect. It makes it all together. So why? I want to ask all of you, and you have to tell the truth because the audience are gonna tell if you're lying. If they're lying, guys, you have to say they're lying in the chat. Why do you stream? Why do you talk to the world? Why?
I want to wake people up.
Why do I stream? Well, I stream because I like to do it. That's why I stream. I don't care if everybody else likes it. I like doing it. I enjoy it. Something I want to do. That's why I stream. Not here to change the world. Just here to stream.
Wake people up from what? And why? And then why do you want to wake them
From
up?
their brainwashing.
Why are you compelled? Why are you motivated to do this?
My whole life philosophy has been based around being brainwashed since I was 6 years old, sitting in a church and not feeling like it was any productive use of time, listening to a priest blab on about life, but he doesn't have any life experience. He's some guy named Peter. You know, he's talking about TV shows. He's never even been with a woman before. How could you tell me anything about life and you haven't had any life experience? Going to school, doing the Pledge of Allegiance, sitting these things, taking Adderall every single day. They prescribed me. They said I had a disability. I felt like everything in my life was to keep me down since I was born. And they told me that there was something wrong with me. And that's motivated me to do everything that I do. So the reason I started streaming is direct communication with my audience. I did videos for 9 years, but that was slower. And now I could talk to 10,000 people every single day. I want to go spread the knowledge that I've learned and try to bring people out and teach them the same things that I've learned from being trapped inside the box and being suppressed my whole life.
And why, and that's a good question, I understand completely. Why do you think that, do you think it gives some validation to yourself to do it? Do you think it's a selfish motivation, or do you think you're like...
I mean, I know hindsight is 20/20, but at this point, you got to be thinking none of that is being done once your channel gets canceled. Like, I'm not saying it's over forever in your entire life. It could be successful in a lot of places. I'm just saying it's a big hit, especially if you're out here causing damage to yourself just by trying to be provocative constantly, instead of actually trying to, you know, better yourself in your community.
Like a philanthropist.
There's some selfish, like there's some validation seeking. There's some need to be liked and admired, but the motivation is definitely based in what I said, because I wouldn't be banned on Twitter and TikTok. I wouldn't be risking this right now. We can get banned just sitting in this room with you, but we're all here because we believe in some sort of message. We have some sort of philosophy. If we wanted to cash out, we could jump in a pool of 100,000 Orbeez, do some prank videos, farting in Walmart.
It's true.
We're here.
It's true. You're right. Good point. Good point. What about you, Fresh? Why are you streaming?
Honestly, bro, honest answer here, I want to inspire. I'll never forget, like, when I came to America, I saw a guy in a Lamborghini. I saw hot girls.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Just don't ever fucking come at Mr. Beast like that about the Orbeez and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, don't underestimate jumping into a whole, like, pool full of Orbeez, okay? Like, that's probably a great experience versus sitting here in the manosphere talking about Ferraris and hot chicks and, yeah, Bugattis and... Don't come at the Orby people like that. It's unnecessary. That's all I'm saying.
I saw lifestyle. I was like, how do I get that? And coming from a small island, Barbados, where I'm from, it's like, you're not very inspired. Everyone just parties, goes to school, gets a job. It's like, I want more for my life. And seeing other people win made me want to win. So me and Myron did a podcast, Pressure Fit, as you know. He's more fitness style, more lifestyle as well. For fitness, I'm more like, you know what? If I can show people a way to get inspired, even if it's cars, lifestyle, even getting girls.
I want more for my life. I want cars. I want the gym. I want, because he said all they do is go to work, hang out, and live the life. Anyways.
And it's W. But personally speaking, of course, I want to make money too as well, keeping 1,000. So I say inspiring and money as well.
What about you, Justin?
I like what we do, Andrew. I like the cause. I like guys coming together on a common mission, goals. Previous to joining the war room, the highest level of happiness I ever had is when I played college football. And to a bigger degree now, I feel like I'm a part of something that a group of guys that have each other's back no matter what are in. And it's about that companionship.
Yeah.
There's a common mission we all have together in our group that I'm absolutely in love with. So I die for that. So for me, man, it's that. It's feeling like I'm contributing to the team that scores together. So that's what I like.
And I think that that's intrinsic to every single man. I think that that's definitely certainly the reason I do it. I get asked a lot by people like, hey, what's next? Or, you know, what's it like? You have all this money, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to sit here and brag, but, you know, I have enough money to live for the rest of my life. And I want to tell all the people out there who are grinding and hustling to get cash, yeah, you need it. But there really isn't that much to buy or do, right? You can have, I can give everyone watching this stream, let's say you all had half $1 billion, 500 million. You do a bunch of hedonistic bullshit, you get drunk a bunch, you fuck a bunch of girls, and you buy and then you'd either completely fall into the hedonistic trap and go down the gambling and drugs route and destroy your life, But if you keep your brain on and you stay sane, you start to realize that the most valuable things are staying in good shape, your health, looking after yourself, the simple things, spending time with people you love, and hanging with your boys. Hanging with your boys is the #1 most interesting activity that's ever going to exist on the planet ever. It's the funnest thing there is to possibly do. To sit around in the room with your guys and talk shit. And that's what you said earlier about being in, we could be in Indiana, just sitting there.
Fucking it up.
Fucking it up. We can end up broke in the Philippines with $25 in the bank, and we will laugh. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. It's all about the people who are around you. And there's something that's intrinsic to men. We definitely evolved with it. I think it's because we spent so much time either in groups out hunting or in armies or gangs or whatever we were doing. You just feel better when you're around people that you know you can trust with your life. And that's certainly the best thing about life. And yeah, I completely understand what you're saying, and I know what you guys are saying. But for me personally, the reason I stream is to try and find the other people out there who I might want to be friends with. Because when you're an exceptional individual, you're never going to meet friends in normal life. It's very rare. I don't know about you guys. I go through life and meet a friend. Everyone I meet's a fucking idiot. It's crazy, right? So the internet, the best thing that's done for me is allow me to broadcast my message to people and find the other people out there with a fucking brain. And it's not that many. But yeah, hanging with your boys is certainly the best thing about life. To this day, with all the money and the shit I can do.
But do you have 18 Bugattis?
I would rather be sitting in the war room with Tristan and Luke, calling each other names, than doing nearly anything else. It's the best thing there is to do.
Before Myron answers, can I ask you the question I asked you yesterday? Sure. How much do you do this now for money, and how much do you really care about waking people up?
Okay, so I don't need money. Money to me truly has no value. And I say that, and people don't believe me because they understand that every rich person is trying to get more money. Because it's a game. Yeah, it's like getting a high score. But for me, truly, if someone were to walk in this room and put $25 million cash on this table, I have nothing to buy, and my life would change zero. It doesn't mean anything. I don't need it, right? I like the fact that I can do what I do, and I like the idea of being able to do it forever. But this is not financially motivated for me. It is about expanding my influence. It is about expanding my network. It is about expanding my capabilities. It is about finding the other people out there who think the way I think. It is about having them in an environment where we can speak freely and openly. So to a degree, it's certainly about advancing the mission. I feel like I have a duty to God to speak the truth because I'm in a unique position where I can speak the truth and many can't. Wow. I like the idea that I get thousands and thousands of messages from people saying I've helped them with their mental health and helped them with their depression, etc. I like being a positive impact on the world.
This to him is just ways to, list off his achievements. He's not telling you what he likes about streaming. He's telling you what he likes about being noticed for being streaming. These are to him he's just taking time to glow. I just like to stream. If there was 1 million people here watching me, great. You know what I mean? But that's not an accomplishment. I'm just hanging out, watching some YouTube. As a VTuber, I'm not changing the world.
I like going to sleep with a pure heart and knowing that I'm good for the planet. But truthfully, I think everything you do, no matter what it is, has a selfish motivation. Even if you go and give money to charity today, you're doing it so you feel good.
Facts.
That's why you're doing it. Everything is selfishly motivated. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a philanthropist. I feel good when I help people. That's why I do it. It's not just about helping them. It's also because of how I feel. And also when I meet interesting people and I get good friends and powerful individuals join the war room, for example, that benefits me massively. Now my network's expanded. So it's certainly selfishly motivated, but it's not money. And yeah, I think there's inside of every single man, there's definitely a rebel. There's definitely a warrior. It doesn't matter if you were a punk rock rebel in the 70s or you were one of the rebels of Rome who just said, fuck this, let's go burn it. There's something inside of you that's a bit of a rebel. And if you're a red-blooded male and you see the world we live in today and how the Matrix is suppressing us all, you want to rebel. And I think part of it is, yeah, certainly I feel good knowing I'm doing my little bit to piss them off. In fact, I'm not doing a little bit. I've done a lot. I've done too much. But yeah, that's the answer to the question.
Let me ask you a question. I don't know if you want me to say this on stream, but beforehand, I wasn't supposed to be on this. And I'm wondering how much of that was testing, initiating, and how much of that was the rebel inside of you thinking, fuck it, man, bring him on.
Yeah, let me give you a very quick example. During the height of, for fuck's sake, the subject we're not supposed to talk about, we weren't supposed to leave our houses, right? So, and we weren't supposed to go driving. We weren't allowed to go out the house and drive. Even here in Romania, you couldn't drive without a piece of paper, a specific piece of paper. And every morning I woke up and just started burning around the city in the Porsche.
The subject we weren't supposed to talk about. And then I was driving him. Like, man, again, you're just gloating. Even in a time when you're not supposed, when you know that that's the problem, you know you shouldn't be talking about these things, but you're gonna bring it up anyways. Look, they look uncomfortable. They look uncomfortable. They're like, man, stop talking about the thing. Like, everybody knows about the thing, but we don't want them to know about the thing. And every time you bring up the thing, like, it's like more insight into the thing that we don't want them talking about.
And Tristan used to go to me, and I used to come back with all these fucking papers, and they tried to impound the car.
But, you know, he's not going to suffer any consequences because he's the top cheat.
She used to come to gate, and I just get a different car and go out again next day. And Tristan goes, "Why do you keep doing this? It's just headache." I said, I can't just do what I'm supposed to do. They told me what to do, and I can't just do it. I have to not do it, because then when all this insanity goes down and some fucking poor matrix slave misses the funeral of his own fucking parent because he's a dumbass and believes it all, I can know that I tried my best, even though he's an idiot, even though he's a moron, I tried my best to resist the enslavement. It's like living with a pure heart. It's a real thing. Like, all this shit went down, and I can say here now with a pure heart on this stream that I resisted more than 99.9% of people on the planet. I got arrested in Germany. I got fines every day. I broke every single rule. I broke every single law. I had a birthday party in the height of COVID that was all over fucking YouTube. We had fucking 100 people in a hotel. I bribed the mayor off. Like, I did anything it took to break the rules. And that made me feel good about myself. So
that's it. Enough more achievements to him. Look what I did. I was able to get away with it. I got around the rules again, and I didn't suffer the consequences. Oh, every time we do anything, they literally bring the hammer down on us. We're unable as men to even operate in our own spaces. We constantly are berated unnecessarily and targeted. Like, bro, pick a lane. Pick a lane.
Yeah, was it really to wake people up and help them to stop them being slaves, or was it because I had a selfish motivation and I felt good inside of myself knowing I'm not a dumbass?
Also, can you stop comparing everything to slavery? Thank you.
I think we're all semi-selfishly motivated if you're honest.
100%. So for me, I'm going to be painfully honest about this, I guess. Before, when I started streaming, as you guys know, I used to work in law enforcement for DHS. I did criminal investigations. And
between this activity that Sneako's involved in here, clearly in this this YouTube, I'm not saying that this is evidence. I'm just gonna say, if I'm YouTube, maybe I don't want to be associated with somebody like this on my platform, or who platforms people like this on my platform, you know. And they just ended up in the Senate with one of their videos on my platform. Yeah, no, it's not a good look, Sneako. This is probably why, right here. And then you get the video in the Senate, and then you come out with crap like this with this guy, like, yeah, and you knew because you said it.
For me, I got a great sense of satisfaction from doing those cases and, you know, doing that job. But then I started my fitness business, and then from there started the YouTube, and I wanted more influence. Let's be honest here. You want clout, you want to bang some hoes. It is what it is, right? And
no, it's not. It isn't. Is what it is. Why can't you just want to make a video? What's I got to have anything? Your YouTube have anything to do with you, quote unquote, banging the H's? Like, chill out. You sound like an idiot.
And from there, I was like, okay, this is great. And then at some point they pulled me in. They're like, hey, listen, your YouTube, you're talking about some crazy stuff. You know what it may be. You're talking about dating and all this other stuff. Oh my God, men and women are not equal and all this other stuff. Things that we know that are factually correct. They took offense to it, right? I'm talking about biological differences and intersexual dynamics, and they didn't like that. So they kind of put me in a position and said, hey, listen, you can resign or you can, you know, and keep.
Maybe it was the fact that you said you were banging hoes. I'm not a fucking psychic. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know exactly what the fuck everybody's thinking all the time, but I'm gonna guess on this one that it's not just the way you were, quote unquote, pointing out the differences.
Doing your thing, or you can stay here, but you can't do the YouTube thing anymore. So I made a decision. I took a bet on myself, and I left the G, And, you know, I was like, yeah, I could do this, and, you know, I'm going to make more money, whatever, and get more girls. But it evolved way more to that. As you guys know, I'm a hardcore minimalist. I don't own many things in general. You know, I still drive around in my 2002 Honda. So it started for money and girls. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But then as I've been doing this more and more and, you know, impacting guys' lives and helping them, like, realize, like, yo, you know, I finally have a bigger brother. You're like a father figure to me. Like, you helped me, you know, get into law enforcement, or you're the one that told me to, like, not do drugs. I thought about doing drugs, and I'm not doing them anymore. I'm staying natural instead of doing steroids. You know, I was gonna hurt myself, but off of this girl, but I'm not gonna do it anymore. You can't really put a price on that. So it started, right, just like when you go to the gym, you first go to the gym to, like, get girls and, you know, get jacked and, like, fuck a bunch of bitches. Then you continue to go and you feel good and you get this certain sense of accomplishment, and it gets way more than just the girl. So for me, I started streaming to make more money, get influence. Then as I started streaming, right, and I left my government job, I thought it was the end of the world. I realized, holy shit, like, we have a duty to these guys to help them out, especially in a crazy ass world where the Matrix is taking over, essentially. And a lot of guys are told to pretty much act like women, and it's acceptable. And the reality is,
the Matrix is taking over, essentially. The Matrix. Dude, it's a movie. You watched it forever ago. Get over it. There's not even any more payphones like that. It's not possible.
is you can't act like a woman. It's unacceptable. And if anything, it's going to set you up for failure.
Well said.
Amazing answer.
Yeah.
You got any questions from the chat for us?
Yeah, I mean, oh man, a lot of stuff came in, guys. Sorry, I'm doing a million things at once. And guys, here's the thing: I'm gonna kill the Facebook stream.
Listen, if I'm listening to you, and you start comparing things in real life to like the Matrix. Whatever you said after that, I just disregard. It's pointless information.
Right now on Twitch, so come on over to YouTube, and then we're gonna kill the YouTube stream coming in very soon as well. And you guys are all gonna have to go to Rumble, so I'm gonna give you guys a few more minutes to go ahead, but go on over to Rumble, guys. It's rumble.com/TateSpeech, because it's gonna be exclusive on Rumble here in a few minutes. But yeah, I can go ahead and pull up one of these questions. Do you want to hit the next one, Andrew, before I pull up the next one?
Let's get the question.
A long one. Okay, so we got.
Who was capping the most?
Who's capping the most? And we got almost 20K live on YouTube, and then I think we got another 27K on Rumble. So guys, get ready to switch on over to Rumble here in a little bit.
All-time high.
Yeah, we had a lot of good questions come through, but I didn't want to interrupt the panel. Give me a second here so I can pull a good one up, Andrew.
Sure. So, guys on the panel, what is your description of a moneymaker for 2022? Something you can consider, like, you know what? If you're young coming up in life, what can you do to make money right now?
That's a good question. I can answer. Do you want, should I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. I think that we live in an attention economy. I think that people who can garner attention are going to be good at making money one way or another. I think we now live in a world where you have spectators and you have people who produce. The world is split in a binary divide between the two. And not everybody is designed to be a producer. Some people are designed to be a spectator. If I was, obviously I am a producer naturally by heart, because it's a very diverse life. I have a lot to say, and I consider, it doesn't matter what I consider. People consider my words valuable, obviously, so here I am. But if I was a spectator, let's say, and I didn't feel like I had the confidence or the knowledge or the charisma to sit on a camera and interest people, then I would try my very best to prove myself useful to a creator. And by joining their ecosystem and working alongside them, that's probably the best and easiest way to make money.
So you're elite.
There's a whole bunch of people out there that have the star factor, but they don't have the systems and the teams around them to truly be successful. So I would come along and say, listen, you can be the showman. I'll be the blood and guts underneath, and we can do very, very well. I truly still believe, as fucked as the world is with the Matrix and the suppression and the inflation and the Fed and all the shit we talk about, if you're a person who can turn up on time with a firm handshake, who is genuinely competent, who doesn't lie to anybody, you're going to be fine. You're never going to starve. You're always going to be able to make good money if you're a genuinely honest, hardworking person. I've never met a honest, hardworking person who will be there at 9 a.m. like you asked them to be, who completely fails. So I think a lot of people who are still out here failing, they have a bunch of excuses, and yeah, we talk about how hard it is, and it's true. But if you're genuinely about it, and you can find somebody with that star factor and align yourself to them, I think you can make money no matter who you are. That's, I think, the best way to make money.
So basically be a YouTuber.
It's not about being a YouTuber. It's not even, it hasn't even got to be a YouTuber. It can be anything. It can be you can find a fucking star salesman and find a way to help his ass. I'm saying you don't always have to be the star. The biggest mistake a lot of people make is, and especially in the Western world, because I talk about this all the time. I was speaking about this with somebody else. I was saying America's strength and its weakness is the same thing. America's strength is that everybody is taught they're so unique and special and valuable, and that's why you guys do so. But this is why America does so fantastic in, let's say, the Olympics, right? Everyone believes that they can be a sports star and everyone works so hard, etc. This is why you have so many talented people, so many creatives, so many movie directors, etc. Because everyone's told they're fantastic. But the truth is, not everybody's fantastic. And the people who are not fantastic end up frustrated. And that's why you have so much fucking crime, rob a bank, get rich or die trying, gangsters, gangbangers. Because there's a whole bunch of people in America who think they're too good for a job, and they are really not too good for a fucking job. That's the truth. Whereas if you look at other cultures, it's the difference, right? If you go to Asia or you go to some of these other places, you'll go to school. The very talented kids will be taken to the side. You're the top 1%. You're going to a separate class. And if you're not put in that separate class, you know you ain't shit. You're just like, okay, I'm working in the factory. Yes, sir. That's my job. And you're just going to do your job because the ego ain't there. So the ego is a fantastic thing for America, but it's also a detriment. So it can play both ways. But
I think if you know the value that you bring to the world, you understand what you bring, then you can kind of put yourself in a position to win, because we're not all going to be, like you said, leaders. Some people are followers.
But this is my point. When everyone has an ego, everyone wants to be the king on the chessboard.
Yeah.
You don't win the chess game by having endless kings. That just gives you a bunch of vulnerabilities. Everyone has to know their role and play it. I've played the role of fucking pawn, knight, my whole life. I was pawn, knight, bishop, rook. You know, I played them all.
But you always wanted to be the king.
It's not that I wanted to be. It's that if you're truly destined to be, you'll end up in a position where you're going to be seen as a king of your empire, wherever your empire is or whatever it is. God has a plan for all of us. My plan was to do my job to the best of my ability, whatever my job was at the time. People call me arrogant, etc., etc. I spent fucking 11 years obeying my coach like he was God. Run here. Okay, 7 miles, 4 a.m. Oh, fuck. All right. I just listened. I didn't get successful by running my mouth. I didn't get successful by knowing everything. I got successful by listening. I listened to my father my entire life. I listened to my coach my entire life. I just done exactly as I was told. He said punch. He said jab. I jabbed. That was it. So I just obeyed. So I played my part and played.
So you were just sheeping along until you became a not sheep somehow. I don't get it.
My role for a very long time before I got to a position now where I have, I don't know, a total of maybe 60, 70 people working for me across all these different industries, and now I'm the king of the empire, blah, blah, blah. But you're saying I always knew I wanted to be king. I don't think I did. I just wanted to be very, very competent and do my job very, very well. And even now to this day, if Elon Musk and I were to have a conversation one day and he would say, I want you to help me with X, I'm not going to walk in there saying, I'm the king though, bro, top G. I'm like, you know what, Mr. Elon, sure, I'll be the knight. Let's go to fucking Mars. Like, there's too much ego involved. Yeah. And this is the problem with a lot of people. Egos hold them back.
This coming from the Bugatti Top G King. Too much ego, guys. He's wearing a silk shirt with unbuttoned on a podcast with sunglasses on inside. Too much ego, guys. That's the problem.
Ego's going to get your ass killed. Ego will put you in the fucking morgue. It'll put you in jail. And it'll also destroy a lot of opportunities. I can tell you another story.
Projection.
I have a whole bunch of friends who are still broke, even though they've watched my come up, and I've tried to help them a million times, and they'll message like, hey, man, just had to leave my job again. And they're trying to hint at me borrowing money. I'm like, why? What happened? Man, my boss, he's fucking rude to me. Bro, you're a wagey, and he's your boss.
Do your job.
What the fuck? Do your job. Like, you can't be messaging me saying, oh, yeah, you're top G, I'm a G, I don't take shit from my boss. Well, you have to, you're the boss. That's the game. You have to know your part and play it well.
How much of it is determined by God? You're saying, I'm wondering what you think of the difference between free will and determinism. You're saying that some people are meant to just be pawns, but how much of it is dependent on your mentality and your belief as a youngin?
People decide to be pawns. Nobody is destined to be anything they don't decide themselves to be. If you're truly uncomfortable with something, you can't exist there. When I was a pawn, I did my job to the best of my ability, but let's change it. When I was a brokey, I knew I was a brokey. Trust me, I knew very well I was a brokey. My life reflected it, as did my bank balance. But I was uncomfortable in it to a position where I couldn't sleep at night. I had sleepless nights just laying there thinking, how the fuck are people buying Ferraris? I can't pay rent. This doesn't make sense. I have to escape. I can't live this way. If you're genuinely uncomfortable, if I set you on fire, you're going to stand up. You're going to move. If I set you on fire and you're chilling, then you can't say that the fire's burning. The people who are broke, and they have been broke for years and years and years, and they're still sleeping in late playing video games, are comfortable enough being broke to stay broke. I couldn't be comfortable in that position. If you put me in a shitty position, I'm so desperately uncomfortable. We can change it from money to something else. If I was morbidly obese, it wouldn't last long. I'm telling you now. With me, I couldn't do it. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I'd be mad at myself. I'd be angry. I'd be self-conscious. I'd fix it. The person who's been morbidly obese for 10 years and goes, I'm trying. You ain't fucking trying. You are very comfortable and very happy to be who you are.
Facts.
So anybody who's a pawn is comfortable and happy being a pawn. Otherwise, they wouldn't be one anymore. They'd at least have moved up. So when I say determined by God, what I'm saying is that God is producing all of us. I believe God exists. We're all made in his image to a degree. And certain people have looked at their place in life and said, this is okay. This is enough for me to sleep at night. And if that's fine, you're going to sleep. But if you were like me, if you're looking at your bitch going, she's a 7, my car ain't shit, apartment's small, I know I'm better than this, I have to find a way to escape. Then motivation and the whole idea of motivation becomes it gets destroyed. People say I don't have motivation. I never had motivation. I had a burning desire to fucking fix my life. I didn't need to wake up and get motivated. I didn't have to watch YouTube to want to make some fucking money. I was like, I wanted money. Like, I didn't need YouTube to tell me, bro, you're broke. Like,
bro, this guy's tripping.
So I don't think that anybody is destined to be a pawn. I think people decide to be pawns. And I'll give you an example of it. I can sit here right now as a multimillionaire, a person who has hundreds of millions of dollars. And I can say, if you go to CobraTake.com right now, you can sign up to a free newsletter, and I will email you every day for free lessons from a multimillionaire for free. All it's going to take is 13 seconds of your time to go to CobraTake.com and sign up to the email letter. And maybe 10% of the people watching will. And 90% will go, hey man, being broke sucks. Because they're fucking dumbasses. Well, that's their decision. I believe it's decision. People who are broke decided to be broke. It really is not that difficult to make money. I really don't think it is.
What is the biggest?
What about you? What have you been winning from this year? Somebody coming up.
Man, there's a million ways to make $1 million. I think you have to pick something, put your time in, get competent at it, stay in the fight long. There's no one way to make $1 million. In regards to what Andrew was saying, especially about the guys that are superstars or they're not. Look at me, dude. I'm a multimillionaire too, but I got no problem. In fact, me and Andrew had a conversation about this maybe 6 months or a year ago. I'm like, Andrew, you can be Michael Jordan. I'll play Scottie Pippen.
Facts all day.
I'm trying to win fucking trophies, bro. And there's nothing better in this world than do shit with your boys. So if you got somebody in your group that is Michael Jordan, let them be fucking Michael Jordan. I'm not insecure about that.
And when you
know
have, and when you have a diverse group, when you have a group of true competent people, you'll realize that it changes role to role anyway. There are certain scenarios where it's X guy's the fucking G, and there's an X guy, he's the G. That's how it goes. When it comes to boozing, it's like, Tristan, bro, bro, you win. Like, that's just the way it is. That's what happens when you're around genuine competence.
What's the biggest deciding factor, Andrew, that separates you from the 90%, the retards, the people who don't want it? Why do you make the decision to go and
That's
get
why
it?
you got canceled right there.
Biggest? Is it the way you grew up? Is it the fighting? Is it being broke?
That's a good question, and that actually leads into my other question, fantastically, which is amazing. I was raised for competence, and I was raised for excellence. So to a degree, I can say that I'm lucky by the fact that I had such fantastic parents, and that they told me from a very, very young age who I had to be and how I had to live. I hear a lot of things from people saying, you know, if your father's too amazing and he can overshadow you and it makes the kid fail, I can't speak to that because I had the complete opposite experience. My father was my hero. I wanted to be exactly like him. All I had to do was copy him and do it, and I was going to be fantastic. I learned how to listen at a very young age and learned how to obey my elders, do as I was told, eat my vegetables. My life has never truly fucked up. There's a lot of successful people who will tell you, like, yeah, my life fucked up and then I recovered. I went to jail, I got out, all this shit. My life's never fucked up. My life has always been wake up, do the fucking work. That's all it's ever been. And if you wake up and do the fucking work every single day, I'm 36 years old. How can I not have hundreds of millions of dollars? All I've done is work. All I've done is get up and do what I'm supposed to do. All I've done is get up, eat right, train, work, answer the call, be on time. Like, how am I going to not have hundreds of millions of dollars? It's almost like I don't understand how you messed that up. It's because people are just lazy. So, but that feeds into my other question I want to ask all of you. How big of an impact do you think family has on a man? Because I think we're speaking majorly to men. And what advice would you give to men who love their family and they know their family love them, but their family are not living the lives they want to live? The advice they're giving is not the advice they want to follow. Like, do you have any stories, or do you have any advice, or what kind of impact a negative family environment can have on a man? And what should you do in a scenario when his parents truly love him and truly care for him, but they're telling him to, like, put on a mask and go to college? What do you think?
That was me. Who wants to start?
Oh, so there you go. So we have an interesting story coming up.
No, it's
My
not.
dad has recently been telling me since I've been getting into the red pill and getting to these ideas and fully devoting myself to this message that now he agrees with a lot of what I say. And he's blue pilled. We can't talk about a lot of things, but he did what 85% of the population did. He went to college, told me to go to college, told all my siblings to go to college, but ultimately he did give up on his dream. His dream was to be a filmmaker, was to be a creative, and he decided to fully devote himself to his family. And for me, that gave me the opportunity to fully focus on what I wanted to do because we came up in a good household.
Yeah.
He was there. He was a good inspiration. He was a good role model, just like your dad. But I had to separate from a lot. I disappointed him in a lot of ways. Dropping out of school, dropping out of college, they didn't talk to me for a long time. Mm-hmm. Not taking what everybody else was taking, they were really upset with me. I'm sure.
Clearly. Look, you're hanging out with Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit, and you're saying misogynistic things on the internet. That's gonna put a damper on somebody's parade for sure.
I'm sure a lot of people in the chat can relate. They ended up taking something that everybody else is saying that you're a bad person. You're going to kill my grandma if you don't take this too. Yeah. So I think you just have to decide for yourself what's the best for yourself and make the sacrifice.
There it is again. See, anything, any topic, any issue that they have, they boil it down to the most basic, fundamental argument possible. You got to take this because it could make my grandma sick. Like, it's like he's trying to argue with a child in his mind.
Sacrifice that you're going to upset your family eventually.
Oh, those eco-friendly shoes everyone's talking about. Kind of expensive.
What about you, Walter?
So I had two examples in my life. Robert, I guess talks about rich dad, poor dad. So I have my real dad, which is basically deadbeat dad, but you know that's my dad, and I have my granddad. And growing up, I was supposed to follow the family blueprint, which is go to school, get a degree, to go to family business. But I saw my dad and I was like, damn, like he's pretty much just like living life, doing whatever he wants, but he's not responsible. But my granddad was like an anchor. He was like the one taking care of the family, took us on trips. You know, he bought me a car, bought my mom a house. It's like, damn, he's the man of the household. So I had to make a choice. Who do I want to follow? My dad or my granddad? And I chose my granddad because for me personally, my dad would say, hey son, I'll come pick you up. He never would show up. My granddad would say, hey son, I'll come pick you up. He'd always show up on time. So me personally is making a choice to say, you know what? Who do I want to be like more? My granddad or my dad? And I chose my granddad. So for me, just making a choice.
I think all of us have that voice in our head that tells us what we're supposed to be doing. If you know you're supposed to be great, that voice in you is going to tell you that. You can choose to listen to it, or you can choose to let the weaker voice inside of you suppress what you know you are meant to be. So as long as you listen to the voice that tells you that you're supposed to be great, you're supposed to be doing things that are bigger and better than what your family is doing, I think you're okay. You have to be strong enough to fight the suppression that's going to come toward you from your family. But once you decide to do that, everybody will say that it's dangerous until you've made it. Case in point, Sneako. You know, your dad said no, 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 and then you built the following, and then he's like, okay, I see it. Same thing with my dad. My dad was always, son, don't you think that's enough? Don't you think that's enough? No, no, no. Now he's like, son, I've never seen anybody work as hard as you. And he truly respects me. So a lot of times people don't believe in you until you finally arrived. So I think that's something very important to remember. In addition to that, I always say that suppression is wrapped in love. So a lot of times if people are uncomfortable with the things that you're doing, just remember that you are directly intimidating them by the actions that you took in spite of their inactions. Mm-hmm. So just remember that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I get this all the time. People message me saying, hey, my family's not supportive of what I want to do, and my family don't believe I should try to do this, or my family thinks I should go down this route. And my answer has been pretty generic so far, but it seems to be, I think the number one thing that especially parents are worried about when they see their children is they don't like the idea of seeing them be lazy. So people message me, go, I don't want to go to college. My parents want me to go to college. I say, well, have you sat down with your parents and explained to them what you're going to do with all those years instead? Have you sat there and said, look, I'm not going to go to college. Here's what I am going to do. I'm going to spend spend 6 hours a day doing this, 2 hours a day doing this, 1 hour a day in the gym. Across next year, I'll be doing this apprenticeship. I'll get this certification. I'll be able to go here and do this. I'm gonna get this passport and go here. Or if you just said, I don't want to go to college and turn the TV back on. Well, then why do you think they don't want you? They want you to go to college, right? It doesn't matter what you do. I think if you're a child and you explain to your parents or all the people who love you or people around you are trying to push you in a certain direction and say, look, I have a plan. This is what it is.
Why is he speaking to children? I thought they only talked to men, top G's. Never mind.
I have a finite amount of time on the planet. I'm going to dedicate it towards X. I'm going to make sure this is successful. I'm going to do it right. And you show competence and you show that you genuinely give a shit and you're up before them and go to sleep after them. They're not going to hate on anything you do. I think a lot of the people are saying, oh, my parents are trying to suppress me. No, what your parents are trying to do is inspire you to do something because you're a lazy fuck and you ain't doing shit. And I completely understand that if you have a fucking teenage son sitting around smoking weed, you want to send his ass to college. Like, what else is he going to let him do? Sit there and smoke weed? If you were genuinely up grinding, even if you weren't making money, if you were in the gym every day and you're a bodybuilder and you look like a tank, they'd still be a bit like, oh, he's doing something. I mean, like, at least he ain't just sitting around, right? So I think that's the biggest thing. When your family, you nailed it with the suppression love. When your family are trying to hold you back, what they're trying to do is make you do something because they think you're doing nothing. If you were doing enough, they wouldn't really be so concerned with what you were doing at all. It's about output more than what you're putting your output into. It's about doing something, existing.
And that's your point, Andrew. So, for example, me myself, like, my mom would say, don't go to America. It's dangerous. Don't go over there. You might end up dead. And I was like, you know what, Mom? My granddad did the same thing. He left Barbados, went to America, became successful. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave school. I'm sorry to say, I love you, but I don't want to follow. I don't want to follow the family path. I want to go what I did. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna sell my bike, sell my truck, and move it to America. She's like, don't go, son. It's dangerous. I can't have you going there. I said, look, I love you, Mom. Here's my plan. You come to America, I'm gonna retire you and be successful. That's it. And I did it. So me having that talk to her made her feel a little bit comfortable, but like still, she's like, you know what? Don't go. It's dangerous, and you gotta make a choice, man. So.
All right, so before I give my answer, I'm going to go ahead and kill the YouTube stream. So, guys, I need you guys to go over to Rumble right now, rumble.com/TateSpeech, okay, guys? So you can go ahead and get the rest of this stream and support Andrew, man. Like, yo, the Matrix is trying to attack him. We gotta show the support, man.
Thanks.
Support the top G. So,
I appreciate it.
I'm going to kill the YouTube stream right now, guys. So I'm going to give you guys a second. Rumble.com/TateSpeech. Again, it's rumble.com/TateSpeech, and we're going to go ahead and continue. Yeah, you know what? Let me go ahead and well, hold on. Let me refresh this thing real fast before I do it. And this has been a fire stream, by the way. We got almost 20,000 y'all in here. So
Sneako, Justin, Andrew, and also
this is it right here, guys. I'm gonna share the screen with y'all real fast. And I know I'm doing the producing thing over here.
All the best shows.
Yeah, so come on over, guys, to what the hell? Okay, hold on. I got it right now. It's giving me a little bit of a hard time here. So it's bam, this one right here. There we go. All right, so let me share it for y'all real fast. Can y'all see that? Yeah, you guys should be able to see that right now. This is us right now on Rumble, guys. So come on over. It's rumble.com/TateSpeech. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill the YouTube stream right now. We love y'all on YouTube, but come on over. Okay. There's 17,000 plus you guys in here on YouTube alone.
Guys.
Go on over to rumble.com/TateSpeech to support the top G, and I'll tell you guys.
The doctor will see you now.
Supporting the top G.
Do they really? Do they see all that you are? At Kaiser Permanente, all of us work together to care for all that is you. Kaiser Permanente.
No, we definitely can't do another one of those. Whew. All right, well, I pretty much figured out why Sneako got canceled. He was out there talking to people who already got canceled about stuff that they had got canceled about, saying things that they had got canceled for, and also, you know, he got enough notoriety for the Senate to notice him, so that was a problem. Yeah. In a nutshell, don't do stuff like that on YouTube.